G'day, ladies and gentlemen. Ray.
Russell, how are you?
Excellent, mate. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
No, it's awesome to have you, mate.
Big month in Feb.
It was a big month in Feb. The dudes put together 35 sales. One of them did actually fall over, but we sold it the week later, so back to 35. It's been a cracking start to the year, I've got to tell you. The momentum of 24 continues.
That's good. 35 sales in a month. Where I'm really curious there is, what does the average week look like to get there for the 35?
Well, we have two sales meetings a week. We start off Monday morning with a sales meeting, property run, where we have a look at all the new properties. Then we catch up again on the Friday and prepare for the weekend. And we, as you well know, open our properties not only on the Saturday, we open it on and a lot of our properties on the Sunday as well, plus a midweek. So a lot of our properties get open 3 times a week. And that takes us back around to the next week. So it's just a continual churn and burn. But what was so important to get a good start in February this year, because 35 in 28 days is brilliant, was the early start in January. The guys were back running, hustling, chasing new stock, got them on board early, and we had them ready to sell in Feb.
Because you've got a number of really key agents there that have been in the market a long time. They're well established. They know their processes.
Yep.
As the sort of the leading director there, are you looking at particular numbers to see how it's kind of going? Or
spot on, yeah. The goal is every day we must make a sale. So the goal is always to make 365 plus sales a year. We did 410 last year. I think I've mentioned that a few times, haven't I? 410 sales last year. So the goal is at least one a day, and we have a running tally. Every time there's a sale, the WhatsApp group gets updated with the number of sales that we've had. There's a whiteboard that we update the numbers and where we were last month and what the target is left for the rest of this month, and that also goes on to the WhatsApp chat. So everybody's over it and everyone gets pumped on every sale, which is brilliant. And the guys do get behind supporting each other when there's a sale and a new listing coming.
And do you look at prospecting numbers and appraisal numbers?
No, each individual team goes through that on an individual basis. So if you go into any of our team offices, you'll see the numbers on the board and the targets that they're aiming for and what they've actually achieved, what they've actually listed and what they're still chasing and who within the team is chasing what. So if anybody wants to see any of that, pop into our office, see Team Ed, Team Andrew, Team Julie's sales rooms, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's all laid out on whiteboards and updated regularly.
So just give you a buzz and come on in.
That's it. So if I want to see the updated numbers, I just go in there and I can see them. It's brilliant.
One thing I'm really intrigued about, REA recently published a survey and it looked at what drives a business, like how vendors choose an agent. And a really big part of that was local community, like that sense they've seen you in the area, they know you in the area. Big and Scott, Richmond, I think, and yourself are just absolute weapons in that space.
Yeah,
are there particular things that you do that you think work?
Yeah, look, we do a lot of community sponsorship. We sponsor the local soccer team, Collingwood City. We sponsor the local kindergarten, Dame Nellie Melba. We sponsor a couple of the local schools. And we also help out at those places, those venues, when they have a fete or a fair. The whole team gets together and we help out on the sausage sizzle, both at the sizzle at the kinder or at the school or at the soccer club, and we help out hands-on with the...
You're turning the sausages?
100% turning the sausage. You put the sauce on and even hand it over. Onions first because it burns your lip if you put the sausage on second. Anyway, I got that from Bunnings. And then we issue that out, and we get all the staff involved in that in their Big and Scott puffers because it's usually a cool evening, and we're promoting and handing out and saying good day. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Endless cash, you'd obviously do everything. How do you prioritise where and what you sponsor and look to? Or do you have one that you definitely wouldn't do without?
Do you know what? The soccer clubs have been really good to us. Collingwood City, I think, is a very good subliminal. We're on the back of the shirts. And so all the parents go home, and there's about 700 kids in our local area that play at Collingwood City. So when they get home and the mum and dad's doing the washing, hanging out the shirts to dry, there's Big and Scott hanging out there. So we know we get a lot of that because I actually give a bit of a referral fee back to the club if they're mentioned in the listing process. Same with Dame Nellie Melba. In fact, Dame Nellie Melba has been awesome to us over the years with the number of sales and rental properties we've got, even from grandparents of the parents of the kids that actually go to the kindergarten. So we actually follow it down the chain. So if it links back to the kinder, we give a bit more of a bonus on top of the sponsorship arrangement that we have there. Melbourne City, big club, been awesome to us over the years. And through Melbourne City, we've also had some referrals for Melbourne Victory, their enemy, out in the soccer field. But behind the scenes, the sponsors have been terrific back to us.
The love of football.
Love of football, and of course we've just done a deal with South Melbourne Hallis, the mighty South Melbourne, shares ground with your team, Paul, at the Swans back in the day. We've done a deal with them, and I expect to get some business from them. In fact, the Uber driver that took me to the Grand Prix yesterday, massive ex-sponsor of Hallis, and fan of Hallis, he tells me that he's got a block of land in Malvern. He wants me to go and have a look at it. Bang,
there you
because of
go.
the connection.
All out.
So there you go.
All across the
You've got to let everyone know what you're up to at any given time.
Yeah.
Every moment's an opportunity.
That's the way to be. We just had Julie and Emily in before.
Sorry to hear that.
One and two in the group, and across all of Biggin and Scott, the top 5 of 11 listing agents were female.
Yeah.
You know, in Feb, the International Women's Day is in Feb. They commented that in the Richmond office, there's probably more ladies working there than men, and the culture's incredible. Mm-hmm. How do you harness that culture of supporting?
Frankly, I think the girls in the sales side of things are superb at what they do. In fact, every team, if it's led by a male, should have a female supporter.
Big believer in that.
Yep. And every team that's run by a female should have a female supporting them.
Yeah.
It just seems to work well. And yes, we've always had a large preference for females working in both the sales and the property management side. I just think there's a trend that people find females a bit more believable in whatever you're negotiating, whether it's repairs for a property that needs doing, or whether it's negotiating a sale. I think the girls just have a softer touch, and it flows through in the results. And over the years, our best performers have been the girls. So it's brilliant. And any of the guys are doing really well. Quite frankly, their team is supported by excellent superstars as well, as Phoebe is to Edward, as you well know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but historically, Big and Scott have been very, very pro-female in the employment from day one when I first started here over 32 years ago. Kevin Biggin and his daughters worked here, and we were always top heavy with the female side of things in the employment numbers. It's always been the case.
Yeah. I think REA put out that they really look at like how vendors choose agents, and trust and authenticity are like two of the biggest factors out there for them to pick an agent. And I
don't know if Julie mentioned this. Loads of her leads literally come from her numbers and figures from the REA reviews.
Yeah, right.
It's been phenomenal for her.
Got to get across it. Yeah,
absolutely. And look at the numbers that Emily writes. I think she did 118 sales last year, and she just, with the help of Britt, they just keep them coming in. Phenomenal teams, both of them.
It's good. Incredible start to the year, Russell.
It is. And what are we, midway through March, and we're at 63 already. So I'm very happy about this year.
One a day. Good to go. Good to see you, Russell. Cheers.